Athens, and they came to him and told him that he was going to play the big match instead of Juan Carlos Ferrero, who won the French Open 2 years ago. And Nadal said to them, look, he was going to say, then let Ferrero play. I'll be happy with that call. But his buddy, his mentor, Carlos Moya, went up to Nadal and said, don't be stupid. You're playing great. You're playing better than Ferrero. That goes out. Moya said to him, I'm 100% sure you can win. And Moya was right. Moya, in fact, and again, I don't think it's just hyperbole from Carlos, because he's a thoughtful fellow. He says Rafael Nadal is the best player he's ever seen, and he's been watching him a long time. Pressing, he continues to press Federer and continues to miss.
15-13.
Opening game of the second set.
And Nadal is playing exactly the kind of match he wants to be playing. He hasn't even had to play the kind of high-risk tennis that, hitting harder than normal. Because Federer's missing so much.
Easy put away there. Nadal said, I played the best match of my career to beat Federer last year here, and I'm going to have to do that again. Raise it up yet another notch.
Well, I saw that match last year. Nadal's playing better. Federer barking at himself, and it's unusual at this stage of a tournament for Federer to be unsettled and rattled. He's on the verge now of being down, just as he predicted he might be, a set and a break.
Few poor shots today by Nadal.
That's true.
Dumps that into the net. Deuce.
It was a 94-mile-an-hour serve and had a nice high kick to it as a safe serve. And that was a big opportunity for Nadal. Oh, yeah.
Oh, brilliant play behind Federer.
This is a mishit from Roger. It took a funny hop, but Nadal tracked it down beautifully and then tracked down this bad approach shot. And it's so unusual to attach the word bad to something Federer does, but that thing was bad. It sat up for him.
Second break point. A beautiful serve. Deuce. Just long. So Nadal will have a third break chance to start the second set. Now this is some story unfolding as they change hands. Let's go down to Mary Jo Fernandez.
Bill, we're so used to seeing Roger Federer cool, calm, and collected. He's visibly frustrated. He's looking a lot at his team up in the box. He's unsure whether to come in, stay back. And I was talking to the ATP Tour trainer, Bill Norris, and he said he's suffering from bad blisters on his feet. And he's so quick to the ball usually. He hasn't in the previous rounds. He's not moving as well as we're used to seeing him. Bill?
That's exactly right, Mary Jo. I'm glad you brought that up. Of course, he had suffered from blisters on his feet at the Australian Open against Marat Safin, losing that 5-setter there. And he's, you know, normally this guy is so fluid out there and such a quick mover. I also think, though, I mean, let's credit Nadal. Talk about the racket speed of Nadal. I just don't think Federer's doing a good job of picking up on Nadal's shots anyway, apart from the fact that he's lacking the foot speed. And the trainer, we've been told, will be treating Federer the next time they change ends.
Nadal has won the last 4 games. Bill Norris, ATP Tour trainer, be looking after Federer.
He's looked at a lot of blistered feet over the years.
I bet he has.
What kind of, God bless him.
Vintage Federer.
It's rare that he's won 2 points in a row against the Nadal serve. He's got himself a love 30 here.
Trying to break right back here early in the second. Wide. Nadal jumped all over that short ball from Federer. 15-30.
I was struck by what Mary Jo said a few moments ago as well when he said that she said Federer's looking up at the box. He never does that. In fact, he prides himself on being very much the kind of guy who can figure things out on his own. Now 30 all.
Doesn't travel with a full-time coach. He hasn't had one since Peter Lundgren, who left at the end of '03. He went 74-6 last year without one, so I guess Roger's okay.
That's his girlfriend, Mirka, and he's got a physio who travels with him, and a friend of his that comes along with him a lot of the time. He said there's about 4 of us. That's his entourage.
This day and age, not much
nothing.
of an entourage. Likes to keep things simple and understated.
That's a beautiful shot, and he's got his first break-point chance of the match.
30-40.
Nadal has not come up to the net much, and this could discourage him from coming up again. You know, Nadal can't get in as easily as Federer because he plays so far back.
Whipping backhand cross court. Break point for 1-all.
He got it.
Yeah.
He mishit it, but it stayed in.
And the fist pump. Level at 1. Back on serve in the second set.
Didn't get this one square. But maybe that was even better for Federer. But Federer says he's hired this year Tony Roach, the man who is a great singles and doubles champion in his own right. Helped Lendl to 8 majors, and Patrick Rafter to his 2 U.S. Open wins. But Roger uses Roach only about 10 weeks a year, and it's in the weeks before the majors that he really wants to have a coach. He doesn't want to travel with him. He said about Roach, he doesn't need to be there every week. He doesn't need to be at the matches at all. Federer says of himself, I don't need a coach in that way. Once you're on the court, it's all down to you, and there's no point looking up to a coach as if to say, how about that, or what do I do now? Roger Federer says, once you're in a match, it's like an examination at school. And you can't look at another guy's sheet of paper to get ideas. If I kept asking for help, it would suggest to me that something's wrong. How old school is that? One more reason I love this guy.
He's turned it up over the last 5 minutes or so. Now 40 love. Line that one up. Federer holds it love 2-1 on serve in the second. On March 22nd at the ATP and WTA awards ceremony, Roger Federer and Maria Sharapova were named Players of the Year. The NASDAQ 100 Open was named the ATP Masters Series Tournament of the Year. It was the 3rd straight time and 6th time in the last 7 years that the tournament has won the award. Founder Butch Buchholz accepted the award.
Well, at the awards ceremony the other night, this man, Roger Federer, won 3 different awards. He won the ATP Player of the Year, he won the ATP Tennis.com Fan Favorite of the Year, and he won the Stefan Edberg Sportsmanship Award.
And most likely to succeed. It would be hard to find, even as you look back through tennis history, a more likable and popular #1 than Roger Federer.
Thank you. Ready for play.
And he really seems to understand and accept his responsibilities as the #1 player in the world. He's always willing to go out and promote the game, do appearances, countless interviews. He always does it with a smile.
And in 4 different languages.
He speaks 3 fluently, and also some Italian and Swedish, so his press conferences can take a little while, but he'll stay there answering questions till the end. Until then, Federer had won 8 of the last 10 points with 5 winners as he's pulled back into this match. Nadal winning the first set 6-2 and gotten up an early break in the second, but Federer's come back, won the last 2 games. This was during the change. There's a well bandaged area of his foot because of those blisters. Bill Norris, the trainer, came out. 30 love. They had a discussion, only that Federer did not technically receive treatment. After that nice little run, I guess he told Bill Norris he didn't need anything.
My blisters are feeling better. Now he's just blistering the ball. Let's talk about adjustments.
30-15. I think he solved the puzzle of the lefty. mph winner. Nadal looked comfortable at the net there.
This volley popped up. This is a defensive volley, his second one. He just had to pretty much steer it. Again, he's not yet a great, I mean, he's a capable volleyer. He's not yet any kind of a great volleyer, Bill, but I love that he's comfortable going up there. That's not true of a lot of players, men or women, especially not two-handed players.
Second serve at 40-15.
And the only guy I can think of, two-handed player, who got up to the net with any kind of regularity was Todd Martin. And on the women's side, can't think of any with two hands that come to the net. Not a lot, anyway. That's why it's fun. You know, I hope in watching Roger Federer and watching Justine and Ardern, you know, I thought it was a nice sign that those two were at the very top of tennis, because you hope it encourages other players to maybe play with a one-handed backhand, because one-handed backhand players are the ones who tend to get to the net.
Federer's waiting. And he snuck back into this game. Deuce.
Federer had to face a servant volleyer in Tim Hedman a couple of rounds ago. Handled that easily. I asked Andre Agassi to compare Federer and Pete Sampras, because Agassi's had to play two geniuses during his career. He said that Pete's serve is better than Federer's, but Federer's return is better. Pete's volley is better, but Federer's better off the ground. I think Federer probably moved better, too. And it's a nice volley.
The other thing the players will tell you is that there were times when Pete might let a game slip away and he was receiving it love, and Federer does not do that typically. He's there for every point.
Well, that's another thing I said to Agassi. And that, again, today wasn't a great indication. He had such a scratchy start, Federer. But Andre said, against Pete, you could play a bad set, but still be in a tiebreak. But against Federer, there's no relief. He's always looking to break. He's always looking to hold.
Well, he's broken there.
Federer leads 3 games.
Federer up a break, serving now at 3-1. Well, a deadly breed of locust swarms the country, destroying everything in its path. Consider yourself warned. Locust coming to CBS Sunday, April 24th. Roger Federer has swarmed right back into this match. Started the second set down a break, but he's come roaring back, and it's 3-1 here in the second.
What great concept here from Federer. And just carving, knifing under that shot, taking everything off of it, and just leaving Nadal with a lot of running and angle.
And now
didn't even chase that down.
We're seeing more and more of the toolbox. He's won 12 of the last 15 points.
Yeah, that beginning, that set in a break for a while, he was just hitting his thumb with his hammer. Now he's opened it up, hasn't he?
There you go. Second ace.
30 love.
123 miles an hour.
You feel like all of a sudden he's in full flight again. Playing the kind of tennis that has beaten so many great players in recent months, and it's the kind of ball that beat Andre Agassi in a great-looking semifinal Friday night. Oh, yeah.
Warts off the line, his third ace, and suddenly 4-1 Federer. Nadal, Federer has won the last 8 points and the last 4 games. Nadal will serve up a set, but down here in the second, 1-4. Roger Federer, who reached the final by eliminating 6-time champion Andre Agassi in the semifinals, 6-4 and 6-3. And that's going to land just wide. 30 love. It's interesting, you talk to Nadal and you ask him about his aspirations and Grand Slam event he'd like to win most, and you sort of assume it's going to be Roland Garros. He says, no, Wimbledon is the tournament I've dreamed of winning.
It's surprising to hear. It's encouraging to hear, isn't it? I mean, so many Spaniards, even now, continue to duck that event. It's right after, it's only 2 weeks after the clay court season and culminating at the French Open. A lot of guys rest after the clay court season. This guy wants to win that tournament. I like the sound of that.
Disappointed with that. Federer had the shot he wanted.
And 3 unforced errors in this game from Federer. Just over an hour.
(40-15).
See if Nadal now can amp up his form. He's not going to, and he's so, he competes well, doesn't he?
He started amped up.
Federer leads 4 games to 2.
Well, today the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 is navigating the skies above the Tennis Center, Crandon Park. The MetLife Blimp is capable of reaching a maximum speed of 60 miles an hour and an altitude of 7,000 feet. On a beautiful day for flying here in South Florida. Nadal ready to receive Federer's serve. 4-2 in the second.
15 love.
Spain is not only producing tremendous champions of its own, but so many of the Europeans now go to Barcelona. A lot of the Russians, the Czechs, they go and train in Barcelona for the weather and for all the tremendous competition they can get there. And Spain now, you can find hard courts in Spain, in Barcelona, in Valencia. And yet another winner from Roger now. Nadal does not want to go to Barcelona to train. He stays in Mallorca. In fact, he's such a family man, this teenager. He lives in a building. It's one of those big old extended Spanish families. A bunch of Nadals live in the building he shares in Mallorca. Carlos Moya, also from Mallorca.
The latest Spanish Armada.
Feliciano Lopez, another tough lefty Spanish player.
They just keep replacing those ships, don't they? Spanish Armada still very dangerous in the tennis waters. 40-15 and 4-2.
Barcelona's kind of become the Florida of Europe for training. In fact, Sharapova is going to be training there on her way. And she's going to Valencia, Juan Carlos Ferreira's place, to train for the clay.
Well, Federer is a game away from the second set at 5-2. Welcome back to Key Biscayne. Well, a short time ago, we were concerned about Roger Federer and his blisters, but now the trainer has come out and is working on Rafael Nadal. It appears to be the index finger on his left hand is the focus for Bill Norris.
All Federer did was take off the taping that he came on the court with. And he's just double socking, taking care of himself, as is his want.
That's true. You're right, a low maintenance kind of guy.
He doesn't need a lot of people around him. He just needs a lot of socks. But Bill Norris, who had originally been called to the court for Federer, is now working on the 18-year-old Nadal. Something after Roger Federer. First, let's hear from Mary Jo, who's right there at courtside.
Bill and Mary, while Federer has ripped off all his tape on both his feet, Rafael Nadal has a bad blister on his index finger on his left hand, like you said. And yesterday, on his day off, he decided to play a little golf.
Oh,
he likes to be competitive. He says golf's the only sport he doesn't get injured in. Well, guess what? It didn't help the blister on his left hand. So he's just adding some more padding to that left finger, because remember, he's got extreme grips. He's got the Western grip on his left, on his forehand, his left hand, and when he has to switch to his backhand, it's a lot of friction. So let's check it out now.
Isn't that something? You know, Nadal, he's been told, again, remember he broke his elbow jumping over a net, and he was told to play a nice, safe sport like golf. And that's the only, he's a hyper guy. But so even when he relaxes, he needs to compete.
I mean, if you've ever gone out to the driving range after a month or so away, you know how easy it is to get some pretty serious blisters. Nadal will serve to try to stay in the second set.
That's way off. After Roger Federer lost, having match point against Marat Safin, after he lost in the semis of the Australian, and here's a big miss hit. Roger and his girlfriend decided to relax, take some time off, and go to the Swiss Alps. They skied in St. Moritz for a week. The Black Runs. Sounds a little more dangerous than golf, but as Roger
depends on who you play with, by the way.
Well, Roger says, you know what? I ski well. And I got to believe him. He says, he says, I can confidently go on the Black Runs and never fall.
Well, Nadal in trouble here at love 30. Federer 2 points away from leveling this match at a set apiece.
That's nice.
15-13.
Federer didn't rush Nadal enough on this one.
Nadal battles back to 30-all after the miss hit.
So much work on the balls. It's struck by Nadal, especially off that forehand side. And as beautiful and precise as Federer's racket work can be, even he's mishitting. And usually Federer just enjoys a gem cutter's precision out there. It's unusual to see him shank shots, not be able to find the middle of those strings. But lefties can drive you nuts.
Well, you've talked about the racket speed of Federer and Nadal.
I don't think there's two faster rackets on the tour.
And when you've got that kind of racket speed, it doesn't take much to throw it off kilter.
True.
Oh, Federer's waiting. so quick.
Deuce.
This sat up for Nadal. Nadal had a good look at passing there. Federer moved right. That's a clever shot from Roger. He played an out ball.
Oh, goodness.
Lost it in the sun, and I think he was wondering if maybe he should have let this one go anyway. Could have been wide. I thought he was playing from the alley. In any event, he lost it in the sun and really goofed it up. So that was to give himself a set point. You know, the match point he had against Safin in Australia, he played between his legs and missed. Wow.
Game Nadal. New balls.
So Nadal able to hold
Federer leads 5 games to 3.
5-3. Well, Roger has only one loss since the Open last year. That was at the Australian Open, that thrilling 5-set semifinal battle against Marat Safin.
This was Federer's match point, and that's how he played it. Yeah. Ended up losing that 9-7 in the 5th, and then Marat Safin had a much easier time beating Leighton Hewitt in the final.
But despite the mishits, Federer with the chance now to serve for this second set. At 15 love. Didn't lose that one.
The fans, you can almost hear the collective breath holding by all these fans. As Federer missed that other very high lob into the sun. This one was a lot easier to play, a lot shallower.
When Roger missed the one earlier, there was just this massive gasp from the crowd here in Key Biscayne. No one could believe it. 30 love.
Oh, man.
Right on the line. Risky play, and it pays off for Nadal.
Well, he created tremendous angles to yank Federer around here. Then that opened him up to swing hard the other way. That's what it used to be like trying to volley against Bjorn Borg. I was always amazed by how well John McEnroe could handle all that.
30-15. Federer exasperated, and that was way long.
Well, he rushed in here. He wanted to close well and make this volley easy for himself, and he pushed it long. So 30 love gives way to 30 all.
Maybe on the verge of making this set a little tougher. Federer taking a few extra moments.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
And Rafael is fired up.
30-40.
A chance for Nadal to get right back on serve in this second. It looked as though Federer had pulled away from it. And I'm wondering how much he's thinking about that shanked overhead in the last game that would have given him a set point. Oh, boy.
Oh, and Nadal has broken back. 5-4. CBS Sports coverage of the NASDAQ 100 Open will continue after this word from your local station. First final on hard court. He's in against the world #1, a man who is undefeated in his last 17 finals, and he has hung right with the world #1. Now serving to level the second set at 5 after winning the first 6-2.
Love 15.
And again, but this time on Nadal's serve, Federer's 2 points away from leveling this match at a set apiece. And Nadal continues to seem unfazed by this moment. And what would be the biggest win of his career, at least outside of Davis Cup. It was a pretty big one over Andy Roddick at the end of last year in the Davis Cup final for Spain against the United States. But this would be right there.
Yeah, seconds.
And something, isn't it, that both Spain and the United States have already lost in Davis Cup this year.
Some people think that's maybe one of the problems with the Davis Cup.
Oh, yeah.
So, congratulations, you've just won it. Next week, who are you playing?
That stayed it. Oh, it looked in. Nadal is going to contest that, but Steve Ulrich in the chair goes with the call, agrees with it.
First time that Nadal
it was out.
complained about anything.
Nadal is pretty convinced he just got ripped off, but in any event, it's 2 set points for Federer. Smart of this kid. He's only 18 years old. He's still barking about it, but he's doing a good job of taking his time, trying to compose himself.
Double set point.
Ooh, that was an angry looking serve. Missing big on it, though. Nadal with a fist pump in winning that point.
30. Still set point. Swinging freely.
Using anger as fuel.
Rides that emotion back to deuce. Saving 2 set points. And now with a chance to hold for 5-all.
Advantage Nadal.
Nadal is an emotional player, but he seems to be able to control it. You see a lot of guys just, they can't quite channel that emotion for the good.
Right, it squirts out their sides.
And how about that? Nadal takes a little sprint around the court.
5 games all.
Flags from Spain are out. We're level at 5.
What a turnaround. What a tremendous effort from Nadal. And this was a shot that Roger Federer might have to be thinking about tonight if he loses this match. That was in the last game, but Roger Federer a couple of games ago had a pretty good look at a set point and missed the smash badly.
15 love.
Had that volley miss on set point. And then after that, Nadal just using his fury at what he thought was a bad call. Just went for winners and made them. That stayed in.
30 love.
This is the one a few games ago. Federer totally miscued that one. Had he let it go, I think it might have been wide. Had he made it, it would have been a set point.
30 love. And really, you're right, Mary. Since he missed that
30-15.
overhead so badly, he hasn't been the same since that moment. (30-15). So Federer able to hold 6-5 as we near the end of the second set. The NASDAQ 100 Open, and it started very well for the 18-year-old from Spain against the world #1, Rafael Nadal, winning 6-2 in that opening set. Both players with some opportunities here in the second. Highly entertaining and for the most part well-played match under brilliant blue skies and a packed Sunday crowd here in Key Biscayne. Nadal serving to try to send the second set to a tiebreak.
15.
Nadal is one of only 2 players with wins over the top 2 players in the world last year, Federer and Andy Roddick. Tim Henman was the other player to record wins over Federer and Roddick in 2004. Nadal all over that one.
15 all.
Nadal did a very nice job of yanking Federer well off the court and setting himself up here, staying down nice and low. Find the open court. Boy, it looked for all the world like Federer had the second set won, didn't it? Wasn't he up 4-1 about 25 minutes ago?
30-15.
He had won 4 straight games. (30-15). Nadal continues to be unfazed by the moment and not reluctant to slug it out with the #1 player in the world. (40-15).
Missed that.
Nadal. 6 games all. Tiebreak.
Second set tiebreak. Rafael Nadal winning the first set 6-2. Very tight second set. Both players with opportunities. World #1 will serve first. The early edge to the 18-year-old Spaniard.
Nadal.
Wow.
He just looks like a big old jungle cat out there.
3-0.
He's so quick, so alert. He's just so locked in right now, isn't he? You can see it in his eyes, in his body language. Federer was up in this set 4-1 and 5-3. A couple of set points. Now you feel like the momentum's with this kid.
1-3.
Nadal.
Get the sense that Nadal is cut from a different cloth. Spaniard whose goal is to someday win Wimbledon. Out there wearing pants that he calls it pirate pants, or somebody calls those things. A different look and a different approach. For sure, he could possess the game and the will to become a rival for Federer in years ahead, because he's not backing down now.
4-2, Nadal.
Even in slow motion, that racket looks fast.
Nadal, one of the youngest players in history to win a match in an ATP Tour event. He was only 15 when he won for the first time in his hometown of Mallorca in Spain. And he says he really likes the surface here in Key Biscayne. Said it suits my game. It's a hard court, but it's not too fast.
It's a hard court that has given Roger Federer blisters. I wonder if he drops his second set, or even if he wins it, whether he will allow himself to get treated for those blisters, because he looks a bit slower again as he looked in that first set.
Nadal serves 4-2. And that barely misses. And he continues to play fearless.
5-2, Nadal. Nadal.
4 set points.
Nadal.
4th ace. Triple set point. Boy, tremendous angle.
6-4, Nadal.
The ability to create. Still 2 set points. And Nadal now with something to think about. is a stunning situation. Roger Federer hasn't found himself in this position too often recently. Down 2 sets.